Yeah, that's right. We have more Paleozoic ideas for you out here, this time with Tier and Dinomorphia as well. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. You know, I can't say that I'm surprised to see more and more people trying out more more of these ideas out here with Paleozoic cards, trying to find the perfect ratio. And I do find it quite interesting that we are seeing people have success with this. Now, obviously, I think one of the things that does make this, you know, 100% possible is the craziness that is Needlebug's Nest. You know, getting a mill 5 from your deck and then finding some of these key cards. I mean, and, you know, let's talk about, you know, the potential, you know, oh, I hit a tier. Now we get the fusion summon along the way. It's actually pretty good. Now, we're only playing one transaction rollback here. I do think that it is an important card for this deck to have. And we are playing one Vivid Tail. Now, for those of you that forgot, let's let you target one card you control, return it to the hand. If this card is in your graveyard, we target a face-up card you control, set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. And if you do, return that face-up card to the hand. But for this turn, you can activate cards or the effects of cards with that same card name. You know, some pre-usability on your Paralino, tossing a trap card back into your hand. Who knows? You know, there's quite a lot of interesting little ideas that you can pull off with this. Post side decking down here. See that we are doing the triple impulse and the fire attacker. We've been seeing this kind of show back up a little bit more here, and I do like once again, it's filtering options. You want to make sure that you can get through all of these different cards, you know, get to the perfect, you know, option. And I mean, hey, discard, you know, a Dinomorphia or something here, you know, for a trap card to be able to set back up for the next turn. And of course, we are playing the Masterful Shiranui Saga. Yeah, you know, you do play the one transaction rollback, so, you know, you may as well play this just on the off chance that, you know, we can actually RNG hardlock our opponent. Yu-Gi-Oh! You gotta love to see it. Cool stuff. So, this got 18th place out of the Indie Regional, and I did see that there was another Dinomorphia deck out of this weekend that did make top 8 as well. So that's 2 builds that found success suddenly this weekend. And I mean, okay, well, first of all, you're playing 5 monsters. You can make an argument for, do I want to try, you know, Misk in this deck? Do I want to play Fossil Digs? I think most people would rather just kind of play the extra dualities and the extra Pot of Prosperities here for those filtering options, so you can do your thing. And yes, that is debunked. When a monster effect is activated in the hand or graveyard, negate that activation, and this thing banishes it. You know that pesky Promethean princess that's lurking down there in the graveyard? Well, go ahead and debunk it. Don't gotta worry about it, right? Just, you've outed it. Good job. I do see we are also playing triple Soul of the Supreme King here, which is, you know, the standard pay half, beam on out, Zark, and then, you know, Zark looks at your opponent and then, you know, splits apart and into some little extra little dragon control options for you here. It is interesting to see they did go with the Crystal Clear Wing over the standard Crystal Wing, which I think is fine. I mean, you take your poison, you're like, which method of this madness do I want to go down here? Which optimized results will get you to what you need here? Cool stuff. And hi, Power Filter. Yeah, this is another good showcasing of the anti-Yubel card. This can hit a way more than Yubel, but at this point in time, so many people have a problem with Yubel actually just being a card that they're trying to find ways to circumvent the card from actually doing its thing. So it's where you see something like Power Filter here showcasing and going, hey, you know, we can do something. You know, suddenly this is looking a lot more inviting. So cool stuff for this. Now, oh, wow. Hello, Fire. You know, how many times have we seen the term Volcanic FTK in the last week? Because this deck just slammed into Master Duel. And now that Master Duel is doing its thing, Master Duel finally has, you know, the maximum number of bonfires. Now, you just have people in the 1-out-of-1 format going, well, I don't have to, you know, there's no side deck. So now I can do everything that I need to do. I can set up, you know, this crazy end field. Now my opponent can't really do anything. Yeah, that feels like the true Fire experience at this point in time, which is, I guess, pretty cool, to say the least. I'm happy that people are finding abilities to play fire, or at least different ways to do it. Obviously, you know, this is the Volcanic FTK, so most of this is going to revolve around, you know, how much burn damage can you pressure onto your opponent, which should be enough to finish the game. And then Current Eye should be able to finish it. Yeah, it's pretty standard for what you want to be seeing out here. The rest of this is just... Obviously, you're relying on the strong backing of the fire deck as it is. We've seen the reason why this deck does so good is because the Diabellstar package is massively consistent. This entire Volcanic package is essentially free. You can thank Bonfire for just, you know, inverting this madness here. And then, of course, you know, having fire recovery built into the deck for recursion is just kind of nuts. And, of course, since you have access to the rest of the fire stuff, you can essentially do everything that the crazy Promethean Princess Turbo Fire King 9000 best deck in the room can actually do. So, I guess, discussion point here. Deck broken. Alright, you just get the extra step to do things, and you have to play 60 cards. But you can FTK your opponent, which means they don't get a turn. Easy peasy. 60 card Aromage, Rika, Sun Avalon. Is this what we have to do now? Is this what plant players have to go through right now? In order to try to play this deck, you are forced to play Aromage. Well, I guess you should be playing the Aromage cards. I mean, they're pretty good, but like, are we really forced to play 60 at this point? Is this what we have to do? What happened to the consistent 47? I guess bridging out the extra engines does kind of give this deck a nice little oomph to do what it needs to do. And of course, this does feel like a little bit more Aromage stuff than I think a lot of people are used to seeing. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, all right? It's just, you're playing 60 cards, you're going to extend out your packages to make sure you can do your thing, as opposed to the smaller builds that are like, you know, a couple of this, you know, independent and so forth. I do see that we are playing the 1 Blessed Winds here. We are doing the 1 Humid Winds as well, and of course, doing the 1 Sunvine Sowing. I feel like that's fine at this point. You're doing the 1 Aroma Blend. Most of this stuff is pretty standard, and of course, we are playing the Disc Coliseum here. Yeah, you got to be able to get to the big guy. It all comes down to the Boreas and the King Regulus lock. Yeah, you got to love Regulus just being that little in-house generator that goes, hey friend, sorry for your loss. And to the people that are looking, you know, this deck's going to have to evolve here, and it's going to be really rough because we have the Rika cards coming in the upcoming weeks. So that's a big thing you're going to have to look at for here is, you know, you've already got this hammered down at 60, and you have more plant support coming. It's going to be a rough evolution to decide, you know, what we're going to cut in here and which different engines, you know, we're going to try out with the plant stuff for those slightly more optimized numbers. I'm super excited to actually see what we can do here. And our last list. Oh, hello. Zephyr Wargames always posts the most interesting theory builds. And I wanted to showcase this because I don't feel like we get enough of the Haman, Ravael, and Uriah and friends, the deck. You know, the Dark Summoning Beast is one of the coolest cards in the game, but I don't really see people trying to mess around with this deck because, well, one, it has too many bricks. I mean, we've learned that too many bricks makes the world go terribly. And I do think that, you know, you do have some cool ideas present in this build. I am willing to see where this goes and, you know, try this out for myself. But outside of that, I mean, Pyro's map is absolutely fantastic here. You do have to have Nibirs. Honestly, you are doing 11 hand traps in here, which should be enough in theory. You are also playing something of a little bit lower tier, so you're going to have to remember, as you're playing into a majority of the meta here, not everything is going to go in your favor. We've learned that there are some very terrible games that can go sideways out here for this, but nonetheless, I'm happy to see the cool little ideas that are being present out here. So, pretty interesting weekend for the game. I'm looking forward to seeing what other ideas and things will come out here. The fact that Dinomorphia had such a huge success out of the weekend is pretty telling that people are like, oh, you know, we're at the end of the line here. I mean, yeah, understandable. We're at the point that people want to try out other things, and I think that's a good point for the meta. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.